Well, good evening, Mr. Jakesteel. It is a pleasure to have you on the show. You are one of my favorite poopers. How's life treating you?
Life's going good, Stu. Thanks for having me on the show. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, alright, let's get this thing started. How did you find YouTube Poop, and what did you think of it when you saw it?
I first found YouTube Poop back in September, October, and November of last year. I don't remember an exact date. But it was shortly after I started watching abridged series, like Yu-Gi-Oh! The abridged series and all that. I was watching them on YouTube, and I was looking at the related videos, and one of them was a Yu-Gi-Oh! Poop. I don't remember the title, but I clicked on it, started watching it, and it was one of the most funny things I've seen on YouTube at that point. So I watched more of them, and I really liked them.
Tell us about the first YouTube Poop you ever made.
Well, my first poop is actually still out there. It's that Bentley and Morshoe Kill Link thing. When I first made it, I hadn't really gotten too much into poop, like that I knew what my style was going to be and all that. It was basically just an experiment to see if I could sentence mix, because I was a lot into Walrus Guy and Deeper Cut and Crobo, I guess, at this point. So, yeah, it was basically just an experiment. It wouldn't really classify it as my first real poop, but it was the first one I uploaded, and I guess that kind of counts.
What's the origin of the name Jakesteel and the 0121?
Well, if you watch Scooby-Doo Smokes a Doobie, I kind of touched on that topic a little bit. The Billy and Mandy portion of that poop, Billy says, "I'll name you Jakesteel," and then it's followed by the M. Bison, yes, but that's where I got my username. It was back in 2004 when that episode first came out, and ever since then, that's the only username I've actually used when signing up for things, because I haven't really seen anybody else use it, but obviously someone did use it for YouTube, and I put 0121 after my username because it was the month and date I was born, January 21st.
So let's talk about your pooping style for a minute here. I've noticed in your poops, and I'm a big fan of your poops, I watch a bunch of them, that you're not really leaning towards any particular technique. I mean, you're not YTPMV, you're not rape, you're not a sentence mixer. You're a little bit of all of that. You care to comment on that?
My style was influenced a lot by my subscriptions. People like I'm a Person, Command Iguana, Billy Morshoe, and Dual Screen, people like that. I don't really like poops and making poops that are all one thing, like Link saying dong and making sex jokes for 10 minutes, or flashing colors for 10 minutes. Don't get me wrong, I love sentence mixing and rape. But as whole poops, I just find it boring unless people can find ways to make it really interesting or really funny.
Do you have any particular source that's kind of near and dear to you?
I do have a source that's near and dear to me, if you wanted to say that. Shakugan no Shana. The source itself I actually found from YouTube Poop. I watched one of Billy Morshoe's older videos, the one where he made a mega poop of all of his unfinished videos, and his Shakugan no Shana portion of that, I don't know why, but it really struck me as interesting and funny. So I looked up the show on YouTube, and I watched the first episode of it, and there's a specific line that I was looking for, and I didn't find that until the 10th episode, and by that time I was already hooked on the show, and I had to watch the remainder of the 2 seasons in 2 days during the summer. And as a source, I find it really funny and really exploitable because there's so much dialogue. Some of it's kind of cheesy, which makes it funnier to edit, and there's just so much material that can be used. It's a great source.
What's your software setup? What you using to poop?
This one's actually on my channel page for anybody interested. I use Adobe Premiere Pro 2.0 to poop. It's a very good program, at least for what I'm trying to do. It has good effects, it's simple enough to use once you get used to it, and it's pretty straightforward in pretty much every aspect of what you wanted to do.
If somebody wanted to watch one of your poops for the first time, and they didn't know which one to watch, and they asked you, what poop would you lead them to?
Well, this one depends. If I knew the person, I'd see what kind of shows they're already into. For example, if they like SpongeBob, I'd direct them to one of my SpongeBob poops. Not SpongeBob Writes a Disturbing Essay, of course, because that's basically the opposite of what I'm trying to go for in my more recent poops. Regardless, I'd probably direct them to Squidward Was a Ghost the Whole Time, or Scooby-Doo Smokes a Doobie, because those are two of my personal favorites.
Is there any particular poop fad or source you would really like to see gone, like now?
Not really. I'm not a huge fan of fads altogether, because there's not many that strike me as creative or original, especially the new ones, which are basically just videos synced to audio and the video switches back and forth. I've only really liked a couple of fads ever, like 71519 was a good one because it made me laugh, but I'm not a huge fan of fads in general. There aren't really any sources that I don't like. I think anything could be made good if you're a good pooper.
Okay, this one's a little random, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway. Can you remember the stupidest comment you ever got on a video?
Probably these comments that I sometimes get that tell me to throw a meme into a poop. Like, it would have been funny if when he touches the button, the WTF bomb goes off. Stuff like that, it's just annoying. People seem to not get that memes are really overused and not funny anymore. So things like that would probably be the stupidest.
Alright, I'm going to throw out the big question that I always ask everybody. What have you got to say to all the poopers in the world out there? Give us your words of wisdom.
My words of wisdom to all you out there would just be to keep on pooping. I love watching people's, I love making them, and without them I don't even know what I'd be doing these days, so just keep on making them.
Well, Jakesteel, I appreciate you participating in this interview and coming on the show and everything. You have a nice day. And could you please say something in an I Am Mean voice?
Thanks again for having me on the show, Stu. It was a lot of fun. And, oh look, what clever children!
Yays.